Hello, my creative friends. I'm Heather North from heatherscreativeblessings.com. It's the 17th of the month, and that means it is time for your monthly reminder, the Calling All Sistahs blog hop. A reminder to do your monthly self-breast exams, and if you haven't done so yet, to schedule your yearly mammograms. We do that each month with a fun blog hop, and you can find out more information about that on my blog, and I'll talk about it a little more later. But let's get to my card. I'm going to be doing an emboss resist technique today, starting with this adorable ruffled ribbon from the Hope Ribbon Stamp Set by Casual Friday Stamps, and inking it up with some Versamark ink. If you're not familiar with this ink, it is a watermark ink. It's just clear and sticky, so the embossing powder sticks to it. I'm stamping it down on a piece of Whisper White cardstock that's approximately 3 inches by 4 1/4 inches, but any rectangle big enough for the stamp will do. And then I am sprinkling it with some white embossing powder, and this is also from Stampin' Up. Then I'm just going to heat set it with my heat tool until that embossing powder melts and gets shiny. This is a breast cancer awareness hop, so of course I'm going to use Picked Raspberry Pink Distress ink. And that background piece, that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. I'm just going to ink up that ink blending tool and rub it off on my background piece, getting most of the ink off before I take it to my embossed panel. And what I want here is a deep, hot, rich, hot pink in the background and a lighter pink for my ribbon. So I'm going to come back in and just add some more ink and fill in that entire background. It doesn't matter that you can see all those circles and swirls. You really won't be able to tell in the end. And one of the things I like about the Distress ink blending is that you do get variations of color. You can keep adding more and more color until you get it to the shade you want. And then you might want to have a baby wipe nearby to wipe off your fingers, or you'll get fingerprints on your card. But here what I'm doing, I just have the inky blending tool on its side, and I'm just doing a little bit of the sponge onto my page right over that ribbon. I just want to deepen up where I have embossed. This is where the emboss resist comes in, because that embossing powder that's melted is now resisting the ink. And then once I have it like I like it, I'll take my baby wipe again or a tissue and just wipe off any excess ink. And see there, I've got 2 different shades using just one ink color. I love that. I'm going to be embossing over this background, and so I use my heat tool to just dry that ink really quickly. You could just set it aside to dry or use an embossing buddy or anti-static tool. I'm also going to take the Calling All Sistahs stamp from the Calling All Sistahs stamp set by Casual Fridays. Mine happened to have a little cat hair on the back, so I'm just going to clean that off. And I'm just going to ink up the entire background again with that Versamark ink, and I'm going to stamp these on an angle. You could just stamp all around the outside because you're only going to see the outside edges, but I found it just as easy to cover the entire thing. I'm going to play some music for you while I stamp this out and add some clear embossing powder and heat set it. You can see that as that clear embossing powder melts, it just gets shiny and the image is darker. It just really pops out. This piece on the right is one I did earlier, and I'm just going to show you, you could emboss resist again by just going over that entire thing with more of the Picked Raspberry ink, or even a darker color like Worn Lipstick, a red, or another dark pink. There's a little space under my ribbon that I plan to add a sentiment to, and the Calling All Sistahs stamp set has some great sentiments. I chose the Get 'em Squeezed. I'm going to send this as a reminder to one of my friends to do her self-check. And I'm just using the Onyx Black VersaFine ink. It's a fine detail ink, so you can get those fine lines. It takes a while for this ink to dry, so anytime I use it, I use the clear embossing powder and I heat set it. This keeps it from smearing on me. It also makes the ink really stand out and It gives it a little bit of a gloss. So now all I have to do is just assemble my card. I'm gluing the background piece to my card front, just a standard card base. I'm using some dimensionals to pop it up. That piece has been heat embossed a lot and it warps a little bit by doing that, so I add extra dimensionals so it's the same dimension all the way around. And then I wanted my hearts to stand out even more, so I took an aqua painter and I'm just picking up some ink directly from my ink pad. It wasn't quite dark enough, so then I smushed it onto a clear block, and again, just using the aqua painter, I'm picking up some ink and putting it into the little hearts of the ribbon. You could also use a darker color here. Again, a red would be great to make them really stand out, because as this ink dries back, it lightens. And I just cleaned it up with a baby wipe. As the light hits my card, you can see how glossy and pretty that background is. And that is my card for today. I just want to give one more reminder for you to do your self-exams and schedule your yearly mammograms if you haven't already. Early detection is so key to possibly saving your life. If you want to join the blog hop, there are prizes being given away. You can find out all the information by going to my blog and commenting over there. And also consider joining our blog hop next month. We do this on the 17th of every month. If you like my card, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye!